Japan Pot 167. The White House staff is too prone to influence on the basis of short-range political consideration. Many people with great potential are not given the kinds of training or experience and responsibility they need to play a central role in shaping these policies. Bureaucrats responsible for the health of organizations under them have no power over government regulatory agencies that may be operating at cross purposes. In short, there is no substitute for a select group of highly trained professionals, small enough in number to have effective communication with each other, who are not burdened down with the details of the management and administration, and can work effectively as a unit to give overall guidance in specific areas. In the beginning, to start with the core group of leading specialists, some of the ablest mid-career bureaucrats and non-bureaucrat specialists prepared to make a long-term commitment would have to be recruited, but a system should be established for recruiting and training a small number of the ablest young people of their generation. Along with extensive training and experience, they should be given broad responsibilities and monetary incentives to remain in these positions until they retire from this service at a moderately young age. They should be given enough leeway to develop the guide and implementation of long-range programs in their respective spheres. White House aides in these respective fields should be restricted to members of this group, and the group should be encouraged to maintain liaison with the Congress and private leaders to gain the level of understanding required to make policies effective. A communitarian vision. In bygone days of more genuinely free enterprise and the model of the independent trader or businessman, like that of the cowboy, was not only appealing but appropriate. As George Lodge has noted from his study, business leaders now recognize that this model is no longer appropriate in an era when large organizations confront complex problems. But they nevertheless lament the passing of our individualistic past. Americans at large seem to share the same predilections for charismatic critics of organizations are cheered, while hard-working executives who exert themselves to hold organizations together are criticized. Organizational leaders are constrained by an enormous number of regulations and excessive red tape, and yet we wonder why they cannot make their organizations function more effectively. We clamor to protect the academic freedom of intellectuals, free enterprise of business, the rights to the confidentiality of lawyers, physicians, journalists, and clergymen, the right of the accused, the privacy of the individual citizens. These are all the values worth preserving, but they need to be balanced with equal concern for public responsibility and interest of the groups or society at large. In the guise of pursuing freedoms, we have supported egoism and self-interest and have damaged groups or common interest. We are often more concerned with the rights of the deviant than the rights of the responsible citizens. Thus, crime control have high educational standards and effective organizations have been difficult to achieve, for they require that groups have the leverage to give moral approval to the members who restrain his self-assertion and is sensitive to the needs of others. The Japanese have been on the forefront of making large organizations something people enjoy. Americans tend to think of the organization as an imposition, as an outside force, restraining the free individual. Japanese from an early age are taught the values of group life. They learn to make school life and the life of the work organizations more pleasurable.